sekarang kita dah ada buat the gene ke apa.
Let's start with
The
the
mesh
outline. It's a
block.
leather belt base, not the
Stream of
best, not the worst. It has some
distributed
int,
little
it has some
bit
chaos
live.
rays, and
You
then we
have
have
them
two
above.
shrines right here
Chaos.
that you get while affected by no flasks. And from what we know so far,
And
this
the roll
is
with
going
offensive
to
shrine,
roll one
one defensive
offensive
shrine.
and one defensive shrine. This has been something that has
No
been
flask, no
going
flask.
around basically everywhere, and I'm
Mesh
not
blood.
100% sure where it
Us.
originated, if one of the devs said
Summarize
it,
the
but
video.
that is currently what we know.
Dia tu sebelah
And
spam ni
in
chat
this
was
case,
depan
the
ni
diamond shrine is
acceleration
defensive
strike
and
over.
the resistant shrine is defense. And you
The
might
rest
be
is just a
forgiven
damage
to
player
think
gonna
that
be
this
cheaper.
seems
Everybody
underwhelming
break
because you are going to lose your flasks, but I need to quickly show you what these shrines actually do. So first, the diamond shrine is all hits are critical strikes.
Wow.
Now, in order to understand why this is so good, I need you to imagine how much investment usually goes into being able to crit, into being able to get to 100% critical strike chance, into getting all of that on your tree, how many passive point that takes, and how you could reinvest that into other places, and how hard it is on some builds to get crit.
Jadi kalau kau invest pada vertical strike lagi tambah critical strike ke apa?
Bated breath, all hits are critical strikes while holding a fishing rod. Might sound like a meme, but people actually did put on a fishing rod in some builds where it's extremely hard to get crit otherwise.
Damage shrine, dia precious shrine make all statistically reach the need for critical strike, investment builds. This precious point. Oh, guess for the stats. This is the shrine. This is the shrine gets for
maximum resistances. That includes maximum chaos rays. To give you a comparison, a mage blood with 3 flasks, topaz,
From a
sapphire,
dual
and ruby.
blender
So that's
item.
3 out of the 4 flasks
Sapphire
on, gives you
flask,
9
ruby
actual
flask.
elemental rays. That does not even include chaos, and 78%
Strategy
of
application,
resistance.
the
It gets
best
better though because
strategy
both of these shrines
mechanics
use the
with
other shrine effect, or at
this
least nothing
flask.
would make me believe it didn't. So with 50% effective shrines anywhere, you would cap your maximum resistances, including chaos. I need to remind you of that. At 90. So that is pretty easily done with something like a goal. Either that or
A
a
goal,
wonder
level
most
mask.
likely a goal, or both, depending on what other shrines you have, which we'll go over in a second. The goal gives you 75% increased effect of shrine buffs on you, and while yes, that does not buff the crit shrine, which is already completely broken, the elemental resistances do get capped, and this helmet becomes a ridiculous choice, and probably your go-to. Before we get into the rest of the shrines, which can most likely roll here, we need to talk about the applications for this because of the wording. It says you do have this shrine while affected by your flasks. That gives you a few options. First, one of the strongest bloodlines that are currently in the game, the Unseen Hand, which gives you 1 ring, needs you to take a downside before, and one of them happens to be utility flasks are disabled. This, on this belt, would just straight up be free. So you would get unaffected by poison into +1 ring slot for 1 ascendancy. To give you a bit of idea just how crazy this is on some of the endgame stackers, there is builds that already do this for the utility flasks, and they don't have this belt. They are using synth belts or attribute belts, very normal stuff, and are just sacrificing the flasks regardless because they can get another helical ring or anything else that scales crazy into endgame. Attribute stackers obviously
Helical
extremely,
ring.
for example, in stacker or strength stacker. But this belt just lets you do it. So that's the first thing. But it doesn't stop there.
That is
There's other
the
things.
shrine. This
There
is the
is
shrine.
tinctures that you can use because they do not
But
count
that should
flasks,
impact
and there's also
downside.
instant life and mana flask, which
Benda apa tu? Tadi ada something dia tunjuk.
immediately gone. So this wording right here is quite
Ni
important. Now when we talk about
quit.
these shrines, let's talk about the rest because as we
Yang
understand
ni
right now, they are
pun
rolling one
quit.
offensive and one defensive shrine. If that is true, let's look at them. So
Tak ada
there are
quit
quite a
lah.
few builds. There's a lightning shrine, freezing shrine, shadow shrine. These are absolutely terrible. There's a skeletal shrine which maybe has some implications with like I don't know dark pact, something
Ni
weird
tak
for
apa.
minions, but overall not so much. And there is also brutal shrine which
Control
but I want you to
center.
look at stuff like the acceleration shrine. Everyone knows this one. When you hit it in a map, you notice immediately your map's more
Oh,
that is because
ni,
it gives
tak
increased
no.
action speed, which is a
Okay.
multiplier for both your movement speed, your attack speed, and your pass speed. Also your placement
Dia
speed,
buat
your
story
movement speed,
library,
mindful speed, everything related to
content
speed. It also gives 80%
software.
projectile speed. And this does scale
Kristen,
with
no.
shrine effect. For example, the goal, which can give 75%, and then also
Gigabyte
one
story
So for example, if you
library, real
had both those
time
shrine
land
effects,
driver
you could go
for
from
Gigabyte
50% more
sebagai
action speed,
AMD
or possibly
Ryzen Master.
125% more action speed,
Wait,
and your
what?
projectile speed would go to, what is it, 200. So this is probably almost as
Extra
crazy if not crazier than the
info.
diamond shrine, because one of the biggest things about Mage Blood is obviously the speed. Mage Blood gives you a ton of extra movement speed with both the Quicksilver Flask and if you want to, also the Silver Flask with the Onslaught effect. We're not done though, because there's some other freakish buffs here.
So,
The next one is the Accurate
shoot.
Shrine. 100% more attack and 100% more cast speed.
It
This
provide
scales with
you them
additional
to
power. Straight up
overclock
doubling your
PC.
damage.
What?
Should also scale with
Overclock?
completely ridiculous. Blue
Tak
Shrine
nak.
gives you exploding and a little bit of extra damage, which funnily enough with this kind of power creep is probably among the worst ones. And then the Resonating Shrine, which has been changed for this purpose, because if you look right here, if it still did this, yeah, it would be a little bit crazy if you roll into it. Resonating Shrine no longer grants a bonus per power frenzy endurance charge. It instead now grants an additional maximum power frenzy and endurance charge. It also still grants you charges on hit. So if you have no way to gain frenzy, power, or endurance charge on hit or on kill, you get all of those and +1 maximum. Still a very strong effect, as well as that some very nice ones, like for example Massive Shrine, giving you 40% increased maximum life, 40% AoE, and you have stuff like Impenetrable Shrine with 100 armor, evasion, and energy. Now what
Okay.
items could potentially work with this? If we're talking the Diamond
The
Shrine,
Race of
it's
Fat.
always crit. Always. The
Bargain
Winds of Fate should
Fantasy.
work with it. I'm not 100% sure, but from the wording I am decently sure. So Winds of Fate is an extremely high DPS weapon with everything up around about 1200 DPS, and it gives you 150 global crit multi, it gives you conversion, and then it says, however,
ada di break rolls.
the always fit should technically override this because this just caps your
Why kira would be the best well looking at options. Akhirnya jadi ambil gambit. The second mutation police from that sport police. Okay.
In Marvel, every mutant we've seen has the X gene to thank for their powers. But
Okay.
this gene has a form even further beyond the usual enhancements.
Okay.
In some storylines, we've seen Emma tank some really cool attacks.
Summarize. So secondary mutation aku rasa macam jadi diamond. Tu diamond ni secondary mutation. Okay, mutation apa? Jadi lebih cepat beyond mutant dengan power. Isonic diamond form. There is a support in the skin mechanism durable. The form should have input of what is the structure. Use a triple power in diamond form. Okay.
In the films, she's always been able to turn into her diamond form, but in the comics, it's usually a power-up she ends up unlocking.
Oh. The son of a baby, he injured his father, respectable, social factor. With a strong activation, launch a secret covering such organic metal cells, making him heavy durable.
As well as freakish healing factor that pretty much lets him recover from anything. But his secondary mutation is really unique. It gives him the ability to secrete an organic metallic substance, which he can pretty much cover himself with. This ability is known as osteometallic conversion. So not only can he heal pretty much anything, he's also one of the most durable mutants. And yes, he can even cover his claws in the stuff, which essentially gives him metal claws. One difference between Jimmy's powers and his dad's is that unlike Wolverine, his bone claws are natural and not bonded to adamantium. The Beast, Hank McCoy, better known as Beast, was actually one of the first mutants to ever get a secondary mutation. It didn't come from extreme stress or it wasn't exactly named as a secondary mutation, but it was definitely a crazy enhancement. So much so that it serves as a spot on his list. He has the ability to charge objects with kinetic energy. His weapon of choice is
Will
flamethrowers.
be for sense resistance to explode, which is triggered by minute so repeating hours per second, causes into to complete failure. I think the animal without adamantium is specially unleashed, they don't close,
Most
increase
objects,
speed.
though, it's Logan's adamantium has the side effect of containing his natural evolution, but without it, nothing holds it back. His claws get longer, his speed and strength increase significantly, and his muscles swell up to insane sizes. Kitty Pryde. Shadowcat is usually introduced as one of more simple X-Men power lines. She can phase through solid objects, walls, floors, people, whatever. By shifting her atoms out of sync, she can walk through space.
Iceman, Iceman memang power macam angle, Wolfman.
Although that's evolutions among the X-Men.
Oh,
Wolfsbane.
Wolfman.
Wolfsbane's a lycanthropic mutant, which means she can turn into a wolf or a werewolf-like hybrid form, which makes it all the more ironic that she's named after the one thing they're allergic to. Along with that, strength, speed, agility, claws, fangs, and heightened senses. Physically, she's dangerous. Mentally,
Capitalist communist. Okay.
A question that has always existed since the dawn of man is which ideology is best? There's people who say capitalism is best, some who say communism is best, even some who still say that royalty is the best way to go. And many economists have literally spent their entire careers trying to answer this question to no avail at all. But today, we are finally answering it once and for all. Not by using any actual logical means at all. We're gonna do it in more bugs. We're gonna simulate it here and just see who wins. And by this, I mean I have 5 ideologies on these middle 5 islands here, and we are going to give them a bunch of time to grow and expand, and then promptly make them beat the crap out of each other. The best. First off, we obviously have the capitalists, who will all be born with the mercantile ideology, and then the commies, who will be born with the people-woven ideology. Next up is the royalists, who are all born with the dynastic ideology. Then we have the militarists, who are all born with martial ideology, and the last ones, the Australians, with the chaos ideology. Since I almost never use these ideologies, I genuinely have no clue what this does, and we're gonna find out. And also, I'm just realizing it's kind of weird how all of these people are straight up born with these ideologies. It's not taught to them, it's just inherently learned. But I guess these guys are Australians after all, so it makes sense. But anyway, we are going to click unpause, and shortly all of these guys should begin forming their kingdoms like so. I'm going to have to rename them accordingly first. So after naming all of them, we have the Cash Grab Empire, the Soviet Union 2, England, Militopia, and just Hell. These are just kingdom names, but let me look at the village name. That is the auto-generated name for the Australian kingdom. But as we unpause, you are obviously going to notice these extra 10 islands that are uninhabited right now. That's because as we let time pass, these ideologies will be able to colonize these islands if they choose to do so, which can help them in the war that is going to happen promptly at year 250. And if you're actually wondering how I gave all these kingdoms their different ideologies, like most things good in Warbox, it came from mods, specifically the Modern Box mod. But you guys probably already know that, considering this video's been done like a million times. But you know, it's kind of like a rite of passage. I finally have to get my video in now. But anyway, real exciting gameplay here. So we're going to come back in year 250 and check in right before the war begins. So let's see what happens. And here we are at year 250. The population has multiplied over 12 times since the start, so I want to see what we got here. It appears that our 2 biggest kings before the war begins, so let's see what happened. Came from mods, specifically the Modern Box, which can help them in the big war that is going to happen promptly happening right now. That's because as we let time pass, these ideologies will be able to colonize these islands if they choose to do so, which can help them in the big war that is going to happen promptly at year 250. And if you're actually wondering how I gave all these kingdoms their different ideologies, like most things good in Warbox, it came from mods, specifically the Modern Box mod. mod. But you guys
Oh.
probably already know that, considering this video's been done like a bajillion times. But
No,
yeah, it's kind
saya
of
tak
like a
tahu
rite of
pun.
passage. I finally have to get my video in now. But anyway, yeah, real exciting gameplay here. So we're going to come back at year 250 and check in right before the war begins. So let's see what happens.
Apa yang jadi?
And here we are at year 250, and
Dia
population has
punya
multiplied over
editing ni
12
bagus lah. Dia
times since
sanggup
the
buat
start.
semua ni,
So
lepas tu
let's
dia
see what
boleh
we
buat
got
review.
here. It appears that our two biggest kingdoms are the Soviet Union
Wow.
and Hell, but in
Wow.
terms of expansion, it's actually amazed me how equally all of these kingdoms have expanded, with
Okay.
each of them actually grabbing 2 islands, one on the north and one on the south. That is, except for Militopia, who is the
Militopia.
weakest kingdom by
Oh.
far. Who, interestingly enough, their extra island has actually become a split village between Australia and the Soviet Union. These guys are looking pretty good, and I'm not gonna lie, all of them look pretty equal. Cash Grab Empire with 1200, Soviet Union 2 with 1500, England with 1200, Hell with 1300,
Huh.
and we don't talk about Militopia. But now it's time to actually look into these kingdoms to see if there's any noticeable differences between these ideologies. So the capitalists are looking pretty alright. They have a nice radio station, nice houses, good farm. The Soviet Union is almost identical too.
Oh, dia ada
The
agama?
royalists look a bit more barren, but still more or less the same. Same
Yeah.
with the militarists too, and even the chaotic Australians are more or less the same too.
Oh.
I don't think the city design is going to be the
Lebih
big
kurang
difference. I
biasa
think
sama
when
je.
the war actually starts is when we'll see stuff get interesting. But speaking of interesting, we need to check the most interesting
Same
people
people.
too, because it's going to be a sign of how well these empires are doing. So yeah,
Richest.
unsurprisingly, the richest is a capitalist. No shocker there. Both of the people with the most kids are from Australia. The happiest are all from the Soviet Union, take that as you will. And one of the saddest is from the capitalists. So yeah, I'm not pushing any agenda here. This is just what Warbucks says, and Warbucks knows better than any of us. But then again, all of the hungriest are also from the Soviet Union too. The smartest is from the Soviet Union.
Okay.
All 3 of the dumbest are from the capitalists. The fastest is also from the Soviet Union, while the strongest is actually from the
Okay.
royalists in
Oh.
England, surprisingly enough. And that is everyone there. That is actually very interesting. Militopia did not get any representation in that, but I think that's just because they're terrible. Like, they're so terrible that they don't even place last on the interesting people. Even in a losing competition, they still got second place. It's weird. I haven't even looked at these kingdoms' mottos yet. The capitalist, destiny or regrets. Okay, that's valid. Soviet Union, forgiveness through rock. England, with prosperity and pride.
Right,
Okay,
well.
pretty basic. The militarists, in peace we
We trust.
trust.
Oh.
Wait, aren't you guys military? How does that make sense? No wonder these guys are terrible. Like, are we serious? And lastly, Australia, victory through. I'll give it to him. That was pretty funny. That's a pretty good one. But there's nothing to laugh about anymore because it is time to finally.
It's time for
begin this.
blood.
We'll take spite and manually make every country declare war. Now they all hate each other, and I do kind of feel bad with this orientation because the royalists in the middle are probably the most screwed. But you know, whatever. Who cares? England's been on top of the world for too long anyway. It's time that we finally bring them down a peg. Oh yeah, because this is the modern box mod, they can launch nukes. But now
What
that the war's
the-
begun, let's click unpause here. The first big battle is definitely going to be on these islands right here. Oh yeah, I forgot that Navy is going to be a very big deal here because most of this map is water after all. So even though naval combat in this game is generally pretty bad, this looks pretty cool as we can see boats of all sorts of different countries going out and attacking one another. But as we speed up time here, it's pretty obvious that Militopia may be the first one destroyed, but the Soviet Union does win their island battle, knocking out Australia. And even though this war's already been going on a couple years and there's been a lot of deaths already, I can't tell there's any clear frontrunner. All the population proportions look about equal to what they were. The capitalists are pretty safe here on the left, and same with the Australians on the right. And the Soviet Union has begun taking heavy losses, down below 1,100 people, and believe it or not, England's actually doing the best right now in terms of population, despite being in the worst spot. England also has the biggest army right now too,
What?
with 600 troops. I'm shocked that Militopia honestly still exists at this point. It is getting absolutely demolished here, but I haven't seen any nukes dropped yet, which isn't really concerning, but because these islands are pretty small, one nuke and it's pretty much all over. Oh, and there's the first nukes, and the nukes are starting to fly. Look on the left. Oh yeah, this is where I should shouldn't have said anything. This is where it all goes downhill from now. England got hit, but luckily it wasn't a direct strike, as Australia just got hit a few times. Same with Militopia. They were already weak as is. They didn't even need to be nuked. And considering the capitalists have not been nuked yet, I think we can determine where they're probably coming from. As yeah, because of that, the capitalists, and shockingly Australia, are out on top here. And now the Soviet Union is beginning to fall to the capitalists. Wow, they may be happier, but they are not more powerful. The Soviet Union is now split into two islands on polar opposite sides of one another. While Militopia is about to finally fall, but they held out for a long time. If they actually expanded well, they would do pretty good because, I mean, like the name suggests, they are good fighters. Australia is just doing whatever the hell they want to, but I guess that's because they're the chaos guys after all, but they're doing surprisingly well with that. The Soviet Union is spending a lot of its remaining time fending off capitalist attacks. World population is now below half of what it was at the start, and the Soviet Union's on its last legs with just 30 people left. At least it lasted a lot longer than it did in real life, with their King Dalin. Wait, Dalin? That seems oddly suspicious to another name that they've had of a leader. Oh well, it's not like that's really gonna matter here, as the capitalists in Australia are actually growing strength right now. The capitalists are stronger than they were at the start of the war now. While Militopia is still fighting to the ends of the earth to just try to stay alive. And there goes another Soviet Union village right there. Now just one remains. Oh, and Militopia has been captured by England as 5 nukes just went off. Holy crap, which also destroyed the Soviet Union at nearly the same time, leaving just 3 kingdoms left. The capitalists, the royalists, and the chaos Australian weird guys.
Aku rasa nuke yang biasa guna nuke ni mesti kapitalisme.
Now they're in the middle of 2 superpowers. I don't see this ending well for them. Holy crap, remember when I showed you guys what these islands looked like after the time lapse? Look at them now. This is absolutely insane. There's still some buildings here and there, but now it's just covered in nuclear waste, nuclear blob trees, and just destruction. It's just terrible. But now that the Soviet Union and Militopia is gone, these countries are a lot more tame. They're not really doing a lot right now. A lot of this conflict, like I said in the start, is really just naval warfare. All of these boats are just launching bombs on each other, and there's not actually been a lot of army action that I've seen. But there has been a lot of deaths, though. Almost 6,000 from conflict and another 2,000 each from burning and explosions. And this naval warfare has actually led to another capitalist village collapsing, although it was one they got from the Soviet Union. But now these guys are like super isolated. I'm not really sure what to do here, so I guess we just speed up time and see who's next to fall. Okay, after waiting for about 20 seconds, I realize this is going to take a long time, so I'm going to make the executive decision of turning off stiff babies and handsome migrants, which basically means in terms of this war, that everyone you see here, all these 2,887 people, are going to be the last. They will not be replaced by any kids or any immigrants at all. This is it, so let's click unpause. Australia is now below 1,000. Oh, but the capitalists have sent an army of 200 troops in this barge, but now they've been intercepted, and now the troops are stranded on this island. The barge they were on got destroyed, trapping them here, and I don't know if there's any way they can get out, at least not immediately. And the troops were finally returned home on a barge from the stranded island, but not before they lost over 100 of them, severely hurting the capitalist empire. Oh my god, I didn't even notice that. The Middle England Empire Kingdom is completely gone now. There's not a soul living here anymore. I didn't even realize it was on the brink. So England just lost their most central village, but they still have a decent amount of people just on the 2 southern and northern islands. Oh my god, and the Australians have launched a last-ditch effort invasion on England, but it just resulted in hundreds of them losing their lives, and now they're in last place by quite a bit. While the Cash Grab Empire more or less has just been chilling here, letting everyone else duke it out. And that's a big development here, but I think this war might just come down to nukes. Literally, whoever has the most nukes and whoever launches the most ones strategically will probably be the winner, which, as we know from pretty much all of history, will probably be these guys right here, as England loses another village, as now the capitalists are launching an invasion as they have people crawl over, and they are absolutely decimating England. They're losing a bunch of people too. I'm not quite sure what they're doing. As if we actually look into the village later here, this village still has 50 people, and oh yeah, this one is still here. I forgot about that. As I speed up time, not really as lots happening. There's no big invasions. It just really is revealing that this whole world is kind of just miserable. But England's in last. I guess that's because they're used to miseries. They are now down below 100, and a couple of nukes just went off. Holy crap, 5 nukes just went off straight. However, a lot of them are targeted at the capitalists, and now they're down to 230 people. Even despite that, they are still in the lead. World population is now below 500, below the mark where we began. Oh, and the first village of Australia has fallen, and wait, is it? Yes, it is this one. Okay, thank God. Alright, well now I don't even care who wins anymore, as long as that village is out. And finally, nuclear weapons are back in the air. And holy crap, oh, I've never seen this many before. Is this like a grand finale? Okay, they finally stopped. How many just got launched? 51 have been dropped, effectively lobotomizing Australia as they are down to 11 people, while England is down to just 14, and the capitalists pretty much have this in the bag. But it seems like they might actually be the best ideology here. But who's gonna come in second at least? Wait, holy crap, the king of the US is named Trius. That's elite channel Burnout right there. Oh, and I didn't even notice this, but the cash grab empire's actually taken a royal village here, leaving just one more. Now they have 3 people, while Australia has 1. I wonder who's gonna... and England is gone, leaving just 1 single soul left in Australia. Wolois, he's equipped with everything he needs. His helmet, his MIRV, his steel boots, his grenade, his medkit, and morphine. Yeah, this is pretty much the average Australian that I'm looking at right here. He's casually waltzing around despite literally everything around him just being miserable and on fire and dying. But as troops close in, they destroy his kingdom. He's not even dead. But I guess that's a technical knockout, meaning that the capitalist cash grab empire in a very close war are the winners. 5th place was the militarists, 4th place was the communists, 3rd place royalists, 2nd place chaos, with 1st place capitalists. So that means without a shadow of a doubt, using very logical and good methods, capitalism is the best ideology that you can follow. But anyway, if you made it this far in the video, clearly I did something to entertain you, so I'd appreciate it if you would click like and subscribe, and also join my Discord too. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Farewell.
Okay, what's this? The doctor?
I summon you, creator of the Time Lords. Come back to this world.
Ni paling disappointing. Omega. Paling disappointing sekali.
Drone guards, stand by. What?
Ronnie, get back.
What is it?
The Universe is a world of legends, so Omega has become his own legend. He is the Mad God.
The Mad God.
Become the god of time, with Time Lords to feast on.
I think you'll find.
Oh, orang ni kena makan. The Mad God. Oh, kena makan.
So sweet.
I summon you.
Discover. He said it's that cease. What?
I summon you.
A
Right.
question that has always
Creator of the
existed
Time
since the
Lords.
dawn of
Come
man
back
is
to this
which
world.
ideology
Elephant Omega. The mention that might be anti-space. Nothing much but cross over.
Alright, dispatch C team, I called you here to show how easily I could.
What the fuck? Dari mana dia datangnya tu?
Ronnie, get back.
What is it?
Kenapa dia
Alright,
double?
dispatch C team, I called you here to show how easily I could take each of you down with just prep time and a working knowledge of your weaknesses.
That's it? No powers, no flight, no laser eyes, just a guy in pajamas with a trust fund?
Throw a ring and hope physics wins?
Bro thinks Wikipedia beats superpowers.
I mean, respectfully, sir, we throw trucks.
It won't take long. I've already prepared everything.
Mortals are getting bolder.
This is adorable. Like watching a chess player challenge a firing squad.
Oh yeah?
Seriously, Batman, what's a guy with no powers gonna do to a whole team of enhanced heroes?
Win.
On my world, beings like you don't survive 5 seconds.
You couldn't survive a breakup in Torrance, California. Meanwhile, I'm out here delivering justice in Gotham, where the only thing colder than the nights is my heart.
Damn, Bruce.
I could take you down in under a second, or I could just tell you you're under arrest, put the cuffs on you. You do respect the laws of handcuffs, don't you?
Cool meeting. I'll take them too.
Who the hell?
Is that another Batman?
Why is he built like that?
What the?
You said you were taking them down.
Yes.
Good. I'm doing it faster.
You're tall for a guy with no powers.
I know.
Oh my god. Prep time, 0 seconds.
Bruce, that wasn't prep time. That was skip cutscene.
Okay, but what do you have for an invisible girl like me?
Next. Your name's Chad.
Why does everyone keep...
Relax, chest window. This'll be quick. Fire-resistant skin, flammable hair. Eyebrows, extremely flammable. Weaknesses, liquids, gravity, and bars.
How did he know the bar thing?
I'm Batman.
I bench 300 kilos.
Cute. This dude benched me while I was benching 500.
I'll burn this whole room.
You won't.
Why not?
Water.
You wouldn't.
History repeats itself.
Son of...
Ring finger and pinky. Missing. Taken by Mega Man. Legal name, Robert Robertson III. He was very proud of that.
Don't.
Son of a...
But hey, respect where it's due. You're great at one thing.
What?
Making normal humans look legendary.
Ha 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 ha.
You're next.
Today, I'll be putting bullies, nerds, emos,